for taking time out with PSOA for training tape number 4 for the NSAA NFHS rule set. Whether you're a youth coach, youth football official, sub-varsity coach, sub-varsity football official, or varsity football official and coach, we use the NFHS rules, and when players, coaches, and officials understand the rules, understand the terminology, we're able to understand what we have, why we have it. This week our clips have been sent in by fans, by coaches, and officials. So this is great clips and great feedback of what our audience is looking for. With no further ado, we have our first clip here at Omaha Central, and it's a punt with 3 fouls on the play, at least one on either team. So we'll talk a little bit about mechanics, foul threshold, penalty enforcement, and signals as we go through these plays. So back judges, you're going to be responsible once we have that flight of the ball for this catch of the punt. So at this time, you're splitting it. We want to work towards the receiver that is going to be catching the punt. Here's our first potential foul. This is going to be our second potential foul. So we have a blind side block. This is forcible and outside the vision. So we have an illegal blindside block on the receiving team at the 38-yard line. Then we got to take a look at number 35 on the kicking team. Actually throws down the person that he was engaged on the block. This is an open field tackle, open field takedown by the kicking team. We have to get these fouls. And then the third foul is another blindside block that is forcible, and that was outside the vision as the person that got blocked was looking at the ball carrier. So now as a crew, we would have to sort these 3 fouls out. Number 1, what's the result of the play? That's very important. We have the receiving team ball in possession, and they will be next to snap it. Next question, when did these fouls occur? All of them occurred after the kick, during their return. So now the receiving team has the option for them to retain possession of the ball. They're going to have to decline the holding foul by number 35. And then if they do decline that, then the kicking team gets to choose which illegal blindside block they would like to enforce. The rule reference of this is 10-2-2. Now, if the receiving team does not want to take the ball half the distance to the goal from the one that is closest to the goal line, they could accept the holding. The kicking team will accept the illegal blindside block, and now we have penalties that offset, and we will punt it once again. So when we talk about punts, we have to have our eyes on the swivel. Very few officials and timing should be on the ball carrier, on the receiver. The back judge on the downward flight, watch the kick and the catch all the way through. We need all other eyes on blocks. What is going on? What are the players trying to achieve? This next play was turned in by a fan while watching Thursday Night Lights to myself. And the question was, did the officials get this right? So let's take a look. We have contact that forces the receiver out of bounds. So the rule is when a receiver is forced out of bounds, they can come back inbounds immediately and can be the first one to touch the ball. Philosophy, any contact is blocked out of bounds. So yes, this player does go out of bounds. He comes back in immediately and he gains inbound status, and nothing is touching out of bounds when he catches the ball. Now we have, after the contact, you saw the defender reach behind him, grab, and restrict with defensive pass interference. So that's what this flag is for. So now the result of the play is a touchdown. All right, so once again, when we're doing penalty enforcement, the first thing we have to start with is what was the result of the play? Result is a touchdown. What is the flag? Defensive pass interference. Will it be enforced? In NFHS rules, Rule 822, yes. Any foul by the defense on a scoring play will be enforced on the succeeding spot, and since the succeeding spot here is a try, they also have the option to put it on the kickoff. All right, so now let's take a look at the next play. The next play is a try. Mechanic reminder. And this is the importance of studying film of your opponent and teams that you are going to be working for next week. We have a lefty kicker. All right. We don't have line of scrimmage officials underneath the post. We got some communication going on within the crew, within the players. We should have the lead linesman underneath the field goal post once we see the kicking team running on the field. All right. So what I'm going to be doing as a referee, I'm looking at the offensive sideline. Is the kicker running out? Is the holder running out? Are they holding a kicking tee? If they are, I'm getting on my 020. Got a kicker, got a kicking tee. We want our crew to be in position before the players are ready. That's ultimately our goal. So we see that the pass interference penalty was not enforced on the kickoff. So that's telling me it's going to be enforced on the free kick. As we move forward here, we are now ready. But we have encroachment. This is a dead ball foul in high school. The defense is not allowed to get back behind the line of the neutral zone and let this play continue. So now the offense has another choice. Do we want to go half the distance to the goal? And if we go half the distance to the goal, do we want to keep the football in the middle of the field? So they could go to the 1.5 yard line and move to position 1, 2, 4, or 5. And that rule reference is 4, 3, 7. All while remembering we have this hanging defensive pass interference foul to enforce on the kickoff. So we go to the next clip. They decline the encroachment. They are still kicking the try at the 3 yard line. And we will have a successful try. Reminder, this is the referee's whistle. A try, once that ball is kicked, it's either going to be successful or unsuccessful, but the ball is dead. So now we have a 1 minute intermission after the try. Remind the back judge to give that pass interference signal at the 40 yard line and move that ball 15 yards to enforce that defensive pass interference that happened on the touchdown play. Next clip, we're going to be looking at illegal block below the waist. Was on our training tape last week. They continue to happen, and we're not catching all the blocks below the waist. So mechanically, all right, so line judge, this is your key going back towards the middle of the field, and we have a block below the waist at the A47. So we have then continued to officiate a run out of bounds. All right, so we have the result of the play is out of bounds at the 48 yard line. The foul took place behind that spot, so we're going to enforce this foul from the 47 to the 32. First and 21 at the 8:32. Play clock set to 25 seconds, and the game clock will start on the snap since the result of the play was a run out of bounds. Remember, if you have to decide of watching a catch that's above the waist or a potential blocker, watch the blocker. That catch will either be easy complete or easy incomplete. Everybody will know it's incomplete. Now, if it's near the ground, that's tougher. But anything above the waist, get to those blockers. This clip is going to go over defensive pass interference, offensive pass interference thresholds. All right, this one's DPI. Is it not? So we're going to be watching this defensive back. Coming in, so what we need to explain to the coach, there is no foul in the play because it's a bang contact. We can have a flag on this play, early contact, playing through the back. It's the terminology that's going to be very important to share with the coach and our judgment. Both can be supported on this. In your judgment, if you have that defensive back there clearly early, playing through the back, defensive pass interference. I will tell you, I had to slow this down to see if that contact was early versus the touch of the pass. If I have to slow it down, that would fit underneath my category threshold of bang play. If it's bang, it is no defensive pass interference. A couple questions came in this week about post-scrimmage kick foul enforcement. And this clip is in here to help us understand what is PSK. And a PSK foul comes when the fouling team is the receiving team. It's during a scrimmage kick play and during the actual kick. The ball went beyond the neutral zone, and the foul is beyond the neutral zone. And the last component is the receivers will be the next one to snap the ball. All right, so we see clearly it's not a judgment call. We have an open field takedown hold by the receiving team. And all components of PSK are met so far, but we need the result of the play. And you could go to PSK rule 216-2H. So as we play this out, the result of the play is going to be a touchback. So now that last component is true. The receiving team will be the next team to snap the ball. So now the enforcement spot is end of the kick for PSK. That is the 20-yard line on a touchback. So we're going to go half the distance to goal, 1st and 10 at the 8-10, and the new offense gets to pick the position they want the ball to be put at. So position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get that position number before we enforce this 10-yard offensive holding PSK enforcement. Going back to that pass interference, what is not, what are we to allow, what are we not to allow? So we have these two players that are going to be both playing the ball, both contacting each other, both going up for the ball. This is correctly ruled. No pass interference on the offense, no pass interference on the defense. Both players gave a bona fide effort to play the ball, go for the ball. Was there contact? Absolutely. But it was legal, incidental contact with each other while playing the ball. Correct no call, no pass interference on either player. Good tip. If you see 4 arms going up and 4 eyes looking at the ball, that contact was caused by the ball, by the throw, not to impede and prevent the opponent from catching or going to catch that pass. A convoluted rule is the numbering exception during a scrimmage kick formation. So first, let's point out this is not a legal scrimmage kick formation. We do not have a holder down on their knee 7 yards behind. Since this is not a legal scrimmage kick formation, we now go back to a normal formation rules. The offense needs to have 5 linemen, 50 through 79, on the line of scrimmage. And as this play plays out, we're going to figure out we do not have 5, we only have 4 players 50 through 79 on the line of scrimmage. Another weird portion of this play, the snap. Can snaps be one continuous motion from the side backwards? And the answer is yes. This is a legal snap. We've circled 2 offensive linemen, 77 and 53. And then we have number 79 and number 70 for the next 2. So we have 4 linemen, 50 through 79, on the line of scrimmage. Referees, you have the best look in these situations. You are communicating the crew when they're in scrimmage kick formation. So if they don't immediately get into scrimmage kick formation, get those numbers, help your umpires out. We're going to continue this playing. And the other note here is this play went to the open side of the field. So referee, once you know that backward lateral is coming towards you, get wider. If you could get to the sideline, get to the sideline to roll inbounds, out of bounds. If you're able to cover that pylon, more power to you. All right, but you can't throw the flag and continue just to stay in the middle of the field on the open side of the field. So final result of this play, all right, is going to be result of the play is point after attempt is no good. They're going to decline the illegal formation, and then we're going to go to the kickoff. All right, so be aware what is and is not a scrimmage kick formation. If they're not in scrimmage kick formation, referees, get those numbers for your umpires. Coaches, to make this easy legal, one of these players on the outside, just put them 50 through 79. Now you have 5 players 50 through 79 on the line of scrimmage. It does not have to be in the free blocking zone. This clip was chosen to help educate players. All right, so advancing a kick. Who can advance a kick, and when and where on the field can these players advance the kick? So we're snapping at the 37-yard line. And as this play develops, we just have a regular punt that doesn't go too far and starts bouncing backwards. Ball has not touched the player yet. I say we don't have first touching, and we don't have touching by the receivers. In this play, the ball is now going to be dead by rule because the kicking team possessed the ball beyond the previous spot. Had this player, the player who kicked the ball, if we would have let that ball get to the 37 and behind, 38, 39, 40, this player could possess it and advance it. All right, so we have mechanics now. We have the head linesman. That's why you stay at the line of scrimmage. You are going to have to rule where was this ball possessed and or touched for first touching. We correctly rule this as dead at the 36-yard line. But we need to be aware, if it was possessed at the 37, 38, we cannot blow the whistle, as that player now could advance that kick because it was possessed inside or behind the neutral zone. Next 2 clips, some more illegal blindside blocks. All right, so we have a block outside the vision of an opponent. The question is here, is this forceful or not forcible? That is our judgment. It almost seemed like he missed. He wanted to decleat that player, but he missed. But it was enough force to have a rib injury. When in doubt on these blindside blocks, it is forceful. The intent of this rule, because that person receiving the block cannot defend themselves, they're a duck on the pond. So when in doubt, throw the flag and explain to the coaches and players to avoid this judgment. Lead with open hands. Offensive holding. What is not? Let's start with finding the indicator defining the category, and then finishing the process of is it not. We initially have grabs outside the body frame. That's an indicator. We need to keep our eyes on those two blocks. Now we are outside of the blocker's body frame. Now we have a grab and restrict category. Now we got to see the result on the opponent, result of the play. We have positive yards, and those two players could have had an impact to stop that ball carrier. This is offensive holding, and the last note on this is you're going to enforce from where the block started. The block started at the line of scrimmage. It's continued in front of the line of scrimmage, but go back from where the block started. So this would be a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Play clock set to 25 seconds, and we're going to start on the ready for play because this play ended up with a tackle inbounds. So if you have a hard time, what is not holding, look for the indicator first. See the category, see the result of that hold. If it's a positive result for the offense, then throw your flag. And now let's finish off this training tape with a bang. Literally. Bang. Ball carrier helmet comes completely off. We need to shut this play down right now. At this point, the ball is dead and he is short of the line to gain, which is the goal line. So it's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line. What we're trying to do is we are trying to prevent illegal participation. We're trying to prevent unnecessary roughness if this play continues, because the defense cannot hit a ball carrier with their helmet off. So officials, you see the helmet come completely off, kill it. It's dead, and the ball will be placed there. Additional rules to keep track of. Any player that gets their helmet off, they must sit out 1 play. A timeout does not buy them back in high school for helmet off. Since this is the offense, we're going to set the play clock to 25 seconds. The helmet came off while they were in bounds. We're going to start the game clock and play clock on the ready for play. All right, so player safety here. That helmet comes off, blow it dead, so they're not having additional hits by the defense. And officials, always remember, keep your chest, keep your eyes to the players that are going to be potentially fouling. You don't want opposing players behind you during a play. That concludes Week 4 training tape. Thank you for taking time out with PSOA. If you have plays in your games this upcoming week, please send them in. It is these type of plays, these type of training tapes that help educate players, coaches, officials, and fans to have better supporting behavior amongst the football community. Until next week, officials, remember, you're only as good as your last game.